Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Tuesday with Tom training and with David Lemon. David's here with us. David,
Woo!
all right, he's pumped up for today's topic. We were just chatting about it briefly before going live, and I hope you are as well. So David's going to be behind the scenes, as he is every Tuesday, and he's going to be answering your technical questions. See, I'm going to be focused on giving this training, and we'll have some interaction here with you. But all of your technical questions as you progress don't have to be specifically on topic. If you're having some difficulties and challenges in your GrooveFunnels adventure, whether in GroovePages, GrooveSell, that's our topic for today. Ask those questions inside the chat area, and David will be able to answer those. And then also, I will be asking for interactivity. So pay attention. This is about turning your dreams into reality. So David, thanks for being with us as always. And I trust in his answering of your question skills, and we're going to get right into it. So as the title says right here on your screen that you can see, your dreams turn to reality by 2025. And we're going to go a little deeper into this before we jump in. We are going to jump into GroovePages, and we are going to put some of this to work. But first, we have to conceptualize and share the foundational stuff, because this is what happens between our ears here, which determines where we're going to be 4 years from now. So that's the title. The subtitle is "It's Time to Show Yourself, Family, and Friends What You're Truly Capable of" through GrooveFunnels. And this is the tool. And with the suite of products that's being released in the upcoming weeks and months, this will be pretty much all that you need to take your dreams and turn them into reality using the channels available to you in this internet day and age. So I see some people already commenting here. I will go ahead and progress the slides. I added something to this. So as you see there, first, let me know in the chat where you're joining in from today. So go ahead and type in where you are. And I see Marvin Webster. Hello from the Philippines. I love that you're here on a regular basis, Marvin. I'm excited that you're here again today. Same with Wolfgang. Good to see you here. Rosemarie from Colorado Springs. Welcome. There's going to be a lot more coming in, but type your name and where you're from in the chat. And then also notice here that go ahead and type your niche in. What niche are you in? Because when I get to implementing inside GroovePages, I'll be looking at some of the comments and seeing if there's some trends, seeing if there's a common theme of niches. And I'm going to pick some randomly. And there's the disclaimer there. Just, I'm not going to be able to go into all the niches. But if I see some commonalities, if I see one that I feel we can dive into, we're going to dive in. We're going to go into GroovePages and start giving some real world examples related to possibly your niche. So share where you're joining us in from, where you're joining from for today's training, and also type your niche in. So here we go. And Dara, close. My name is Beal, Tom Beal, B-E-A-L. But good to see you, Dara. So yes, my name is Tom Beal. Similar to that, but with a B instead of an N. But good to have you here, Dara from Columbus. Let's see, Carlos from Costa Rica, Kasem from Chicago, Facebook user, Jen from Texas. Oh, you even put in Jen from Texas. So you must have an issue that some of our people have, and that's this next page. So if you hear me say Facebook user, we're using this tool called StreamYard. And you only have to do this once. You go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. You click on that little blue button. Let StreamYard see your Facebook live comments, and I'll be able to see them in here. Otherwise, I'll be reading it as Facebook user. And we do communicate, as you see here. So I want to know you. So go ahead and go to that URL if you hear me call you as Facebook user. So Jen in Texas, go to that URL if you can. Dara, financial literacy, very important topic. I'm happy to see that, and I know that's a topic many people are passionate about because it's, in my opinion, extremely important. So well done there. Veronica from Boston, life coach, perfect, awesome, I love it. Another important one. Dara, texting error. Sorry. All right. It's all right. It's all good. But a lot of people, I don't put my name up here, ironically. Maybe I should, so people get a better understanding. So I am Tom Beal, and you'll get to know me in previous trainings. We'll show how to access all the previous trainings and this training today, obviously, and upcoming trainings. So it's always good to have our GrooveFunnels family here. Dean from Dean's one of our unusual anomalies, because he went through this process, the StreamYard.com/Facebook, and he shows up as Facebook user all the time anyhow. So Dean, happy to have you here as always. Seattle, Brigitte, business coach, empowering entrepreneurs to a consistent 5K in 90 days. Fantastic. I love the subtitle. It's catchy. And that's exactly part of what we're going to talk about in the implementation aspect when we get to GroovePages. See, we can never underestimate. Here's a little writer downer right in the beginning. Never underestimate what it takes for people what it takes to earn the sale. Never underestimate what it takes to earn the sale. And I was going to go a little different. So the quote is, never underestimate what it takes to earn the sale. But the sale can be given the name and email and or just email address. That's a sale. You have to give a bold, big promise, a big, unique proposition, unique mechanism that gets their attention enough to say, you know what? I am interested in this. I'm desirous of what it is, and I'm going to take action by giving my email. So that's a sale. So never underestimate. So I love how it's just not just a business coach. Oh, okay, yeah, business coach, yeah, whatever. No, I empower entrepreneurs to a consistent 5K in 90 days. So well done with that subtitle. We're going to be going into more of examples like that as we proceed. Darcy from sunny Vegas, hello. Luis from Mexico, good to have you here. So we are ready to rock and roll. There we go. Another. Okay, so we got some other comments coming in. Good stuff. So let's progress. So as we do that, let's talk about this. Your dreams turn to reality by 2025. So as we do this, it happens to be the 245th birthday of the United States Marine Corps. I served in the United States Marine Corps from 1993 to 1997. So Semper Fi to all my Marines out there. Happy birthday. But it's a memorable day because I got out of the Marine Corps in January of 97, but that was the 222nd birthday of the Marine Corps. And twos are big for me because I'm born on the 22nd. My son is born on 2/22/2002. But I got out on the 222nd birthday of the Marine Corps. Oops, turn this sucker on. Interesting. It's on silent, but it still rang. That's interesting. Okay, so time goes fast is the bottom line. So I got out of the Marine Corps in January of 1997, and here we are 23 years later. It's hard to believe here in 2020, but here we are in the end of 2020. Right, we're coming down to the. Whoops, I'm talking and writing at the same time. 11/10/2020. I said end of 2020. I wrote 2020. Who knows? So 2020, but pretty soon, the reality is we will be into 2025. Now I'm saying this for a couple reasons. One, it happens to be a time frame that a lot of us are familiar with because in the United States we have what's called high school. How long does high school run? 4 years. Once done with high school, some people choose to go to college in order to get a bachelor's degree. Generally, that's 4 years. So 4 years, you enter high school as a freshman and you graduate as a senior. And same thing applies to college and university. You enter as a freshman and you graduate as a senior. The worst case scenario that I could possibly foresee is that you're the same person 4 years from now, that you haven't evolved, that you haven't grown, that you haven't learned, that you haven't experienced things to improve who you are on all levels of life, right? So similarly, when I look back to me getting out of the Marine Corps in January of 1997, 23 years ago, at the time, I thought I was the king of the world. I thought I knew everything. Looking back, I was still such a newbie. I was still such a fresh, naive human being. I was 24 years old, yet I thought I knew it all. Right. But as the years progressed, I realized, wow, I don't know as much as I thought I knew. And I want you to understand and grasp that this time frame is going to go by quickly. And the question is, do you want to be someone who right here, right now, sets some big, hairy, audacious goals, sets some large dreams that pushes you out of your comfort zone, that you then take consistent actions to help improve your thoughts, your words, and your actions to turn that dream into reality? Or is it just going to be more of the same? And I know your answer because you're here, you're watching this. And what that tells me is you're on the path of going from this smaller version of you to the much larger version of you. Very happy and holding stacks of money because money is a nice way to gauge how well things are working in the online manner, right? We're able to tell what the data is. Okay, how many people saw the page, how many people opted in, how many people saw the offer, how many people took advantage of the offer. It's a mathematical equation. And once you grasp it, once you get it, it's just a simple mathematical situation. Okay, great. So we have this offer, it's converting at this. If we get X amount of visitors with the average conversion rate that we have, it's going to produce out the end this amount of funds. And okay, how much funds do we have to invest to get this engine built? What's the fuel that we're going to put in to produce the results? It just becomes a mathematical equation, and it's not a roll of the dice. It's a strategic move where you already know the percentages. And the good news is, once you know the percentages, you don't have to trust pollsters, pertinent to today's election drama that's still going on, right? People have all sorts of polls and predictions. Throw that crap out the window. We want to deal with real world data, real world numbers that show us exactly how it works out. And as with everything that you start, when you first begin, you're not going to be the best, but you're going to jump in and you're going to, dive into the water per se and learn how to swim, because you're not going to let yourself drown, right? So that's where we're going to get. So the bottom line is, since we're at the end, we're in November of 2020 right now. It's roughly 4 years away. 4 years away. And I know that by you being here, you're choosing to be someone who is willing and committed to take the proper steps to get from where you are to where you want to be. And so I commend you on that, because this is a quote that, if it's not ingrained in your head yet, it will be, because I'll bring it up on a regular basis, but it's from Earl Nightingale. And Earl Nightingale says a definition of success, which I feel is one of the best. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal. So back to that high school or college analogy, someone who is a freshman in high school and has the courage enough to say, you know what, I'm making it my goal to graduate. As long as they're showing up for class, as long as they're doing their homework and consistently doing so, it's not a crapshoot. They're going to graduate, right? And are there going to be times when maybe they have some difficulties and need a coach, need someone in a specific topic or subject that can help mentor them to be a little bit better in an area that may not be resonating so well? Absolutely. But if they're committed and if they're willing, they'll find those proper people and continue to forge forward. So you're here, and in this case, it's myself, David, and the whole GrooveFunnels team who is here as your mentor, who is here as your guide to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. And I kind of jumped a little bit ahead, but one of the key factors is, well, first you have to be willing to set the goal. So what's that goal for you? And I would encourage you, there's a couple different metrics, but the one metric that I think is the easiest, because it's pretty much part of the mathematical equation, is what would you want your monthly revenue to be? And if you're bold enough, what would you want your monthly profit to be 4 years from now? 4 years from now, with you making the commitment and saying, you know what, I'm going to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to achieve this goal. And just like in high school or college, there's going to be homework. There's going to be sometimes a report that's due, AKA a launch that's happening, or a new product or new service that you're releasing that's happening. And it may take you burning the midnight oil. It may take you rolling your sleeves up and rearranging your priorities in those moments to do what's necessary to get it done, just like an assignment due, right? So if you're willing, what is your number? So what is and that could be revenue, that could be profit. I kind of like leaning towards the profit, because look, it's not what you make, it's what you keep, right? Because there's possibilities where you could, I want to have $100,000 a month business by, which would equate to $1.2 million on an annual basis by 4 years from now, $100,000 revenue a month. And in some instances, That's not going to turn out so great in the profit scenario, and just common math. If you're doing something that's producing $100,000 in revenue and it's costing you $95,000 each month in expenses, simple math tells you that leaves you with $5,000 profit, right? So I like to think more from it's not what you get, what you create, it's what you keep. So I like to go to the profit section personally. It's up to you individually to determine what your number is, but when you're doing it, it's easy to get confused with a lot coming in. But I've been in situations where there's a lot coming in, but there's a lot more going out. I mean, there's parts where, I worked with Mike Filsaime from 2006 to 2011, and it's no secret. He talks publicly about it. We had great results, but there were some months where we had what we would have thought would have been tremendous months. Some months 250,000, some months 400,000 and beyond. Yet when you're earning 250,000 a month, yet your overhead is 300 some thousand a month, that's a rough situation. That depletes. If that continues for a while, obviously that's not the greatest trajectory. So I'm saying, yes, revenue is great, but I would encourage you to really dial it into what is my number profit wise, and how do you find this number? And here's one way to do it. Look, I'll just call it what it is. A lot of people are enamored with $1 million, right? And that's one enamor. Prior to some decent success, a lot of people are enamored with the $10,000 a month. That's a very common one, it's an admirable goal. It's a great goal. Don't get me wrong. But like we said, if you're earning $10,000 a month in revenue and it's costing you $8,000 in advertising and staff and outsourcing and things like that, that means you're keeping $2,000 a month, which over the years, like $24,000 per year, not that much to lead an amazing lifestyle. So the way to work this number out, and it's really to figure out what your nut is, what your monthly expenses for you personally and professionally, and with the lifestyle included. And here's how to do it. Basically, you just sit down with a pad of paper, this way, pad of paper, write down on a monthly basis, here are all your monthly expenses, personally and professionally, and you add in fun adventures and dining out and entertainment and all this stuff and clothes, and you work it out and you come up with a number. And that's your monthly nut number. And obviously, if that's what your outgo is, you want to have more coming in. You want more income than outgo. Common sense. Makes sense. And y'all stick with me. Like, this all is going to come full circle. This isn't like, Tom, tell me something. Okay, Mr. Obvious. Tom, I'm going to call you Captain Obvious. No, look, stick with me. There's more to this that we're going to be diving into. It begins with you just setting clearly to yourself, what is that monthly number for you? And then add in a little bit more to throw towards investments and throw towards other things. And then pick that number. And that's your number. It's different for everybody. Whatever that is. And then also add in taxes, right? Add in whatever you are and whatever that tax is, add that in, because that's something you don't want to not put into the monthly expense. And then all of a sudden come up on a quarterly basis where you owe a large chunk and it wasn't factored in. So build that into it as well. And then you break it down to the math equation. Okay, if that's what I need to make on a monthly basis, what's that look like annually? That means you're going to have X amount of dollars profit per year. But the flip side is, okay, if that's what it's going to cost on the outgo per month, what's that mean per day? And let's just pick a simple number. The 10,000 number is always a fun number. So if we break 10,000, if 10,000 profit, that's, well, it's hard to break the profit. You'd have to know what your revenue is, but if 10,000 revenue, because it's hard to work it. If you know what your profit margin is, basically, if you want 10,000 and you work it back, that means you need to make 30,000 revenue. You get the deal. But let's just say that, okay, we want to earn 10,000 profit, and it's going to require us to earn 30,000 in revenue, 20,000 in expenses, and we'll keep 10,000 profit. So let's just work that. So I'll change it up here. So 30,000 divided by 30 is $1,000 a day. Pretty simple. So if we want 30,000 revenue, that means we have to earn $1,000 per day. Right. And for some people, when you're starting out, you're like, holy crap, is it even possible to earn $1,000 a day? Well, not only is it possible, I mean, you look around in peer groups and you see that that would be a very bad month for a lot of people. Now, it's up to each and every one of us to not make some, don't just pick this number if you have a business that's producing zero right now, right? Is it possible? Absolutely. It's totally possible to go build much larger results than that. But pick a number that you feel comfortable with, because the bottom line is we all have an internal regulator on what we feel we're capable of. And it's different for each of us. The key is by being here and working with me, David, and the others here in the GrooveFunnels family, you're hanging around with people that are producing some great results. And that quote becomes a good thing versus the quote was a bad thing when I first heard it. And the quote is this: you become the average of the 5 people that you associate with most. And when I heard that for the first time, I was like, holy crap, I'm screwed, because I'm hanging out with people that aren't producing the results that I want in their health, in their relationships, in their finances. But when you start hanging around with people that are producing what the normal world would call miraculous, you start to say, wait a second, it's not miraculous. It's actually something that happens regularly and commonly with this group of people. And so if I hang around with them, I'm going to bridge the gap from being impossible / miraculous to not only possible, but probable for me. And that's a lot to say right there. That's a really big thing. When you start hanging around people that are doing things that the most of the world sees impossible or miraculous, and you start seeing it on a regular basis from numerous people, not just some superstar, other people that actually, the truth is like, holy crap, not to put them down, but I think I'm smarter than them. And this is not to put down people creating great results. That's great. But you realize they don't have to be the shining star. They don't have to be the sharpest knife in the drawer. They're just people that had a big dream and were willing to commit to doing whatever it takes for as long as it takes, and roll their sleeves up to have consistent action and progress to create the realities that they're now benefiting from. So you're like, wait a minute. They aren't anomalies. They aren't, walking on water. And it's going from, in your mind, like from impossible to highly improbable to like, you know what? I believe it would be possible for me. What if it is possible for me? What are some of the steps that I would have to take that would get me on that path? And then you start talking with those people and let them know, hey, look, here, I admire what you're doing. I've loved, and you share some compliments. I love what you talked about here in this training or that book or whatever. Here's where I am. Here's where I'm looking to go. For whatever reason, here's the constraint that I'm running across. Like, what would you do if you were in my shoes? And you start asking those questions and you start getting some feedback, and you take that feedback and start implementing it. And next thing you know, the dots start to connect. And now it goes from impossible to maybe it is possible for me, to now it's like, oh, I'm getting this. I'm making it happen. And I'm taking one step after the next. I'm willing to do it. It's how people transform their physical body when they say enough is enough, and they're looking at the mirror and they say, you know what, I'm actually making some changes, and it's not all talk. I'm going to make some changes, and you watch. And with consistency, in very short time, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, they're a whole different person. Their body has changed, but it started with their mind. It started with the decision. It started with that commitment. Same thing happens on this wealth journey. So pick your number and then work it down to what's that going to be per day. All right. So in order to achieve that, that means I will have to put a system in place that produces X amount of money per day. And in doing so, that will turn that goal into reality. And then where you begin on that all depends on what your starting point is, because each of us have a different starting point. If you already have a highly successful business right now, or if you're just starting, either way, it boils back to that training we did 2 weeks ago. The training 2 weeks ago, and I'll show you how to find it here later in the training, but the training was called, what did I name that training? Lack of clarity is the root of all failure. Lack of clarity is the root of all failure is the training that we did 2 weeks ago. And it breaks it down into a 4-step question process that when you follow those 4 steps, you'll know what your unique abilities are. You'll know what's yours to do. You'll know what's yours to start doing, which has the potential to 10x your results. You'll know what's yours to do more of. You'll know what's yours to do less of, and you'll know what's yours to stop doing altogether. And by gaining that clarity, you will reap the benefits of the counter of the training title, which the title was lack of clarity is the root of all failure. Well, counter to that is clarity is the root of all success. So go back, watch that training, write it down. I'll show you where and how to access that here later on. But lack of clarity is the root of all failure. And so right away, whether you watch that training or not, just by hearing that quote, a lot of you, I could feel the dots connecting in your mind, the synapses firing off like, yeah, I haven't been clear. So without clarity, of course, I'm going to procrastinate. Of course, I'm not going to know what to do because I wasn't sure what I was supposed to be doing. So write that down. That's a writer downer. Lack of clarity is the root of all failure. And conversely, clarity is the root of all success. So now, once you know your number, we'll be able to break it down. But then it boils back to this statement. Okay. All right. I'm going to dive into this real briefly. So we are right here in the end of 2020. We're picturing ourselves 4 years from now in 2025. And now these are the 4 parts of this journey. As is. It's right where we are. What's your current situation? What are you doing? What's working? What's not working? Should be. That's the ideal outcome that you've already determined. That's the revenue. That's the revenue that you'll be earning on a daily basis, whatever that number is for you. And then you ask yourself, okay, what are the barriers? So the statement is, as is, should be, barriers pay off. We're going to touch on this briefly before we dive into the GroovePages, actually applying this and demonstrating a few niches. Oh, there we go. See, Dean, there you go. Dean, I see the comment there. Can't see your chart. You're now full screen. Okay, cool. So as is, should be, barriers pay off. You need to be very clear on what your current situation is. You need to be very clear on what the should be situation is. Then barriers. I mean, barriers, we could really bust it down into 2 different things now that we're talking online. You have 2 barriers with online results right now. And they're work together. They're not separate. You have to work them together. Traffic and conversion. If one of them works and the other isn't in place, it's still a failure. So if you're getting huge amounts of traffic to a crappy conversion, it's just wasted money. And it's wasted time, energy, and effort. If you're getting amazing conversion with no traffic, okay, great. You got 1 visitor a week. It's like having a store in the middle of the desert. It doesn't matter unless you're selling something that's very, very pricey and that one person is very, very qualified, which still can be a winner. But in most scenarios, you need more than 1 person a week, right? So you have to have the barriers covered. So what are my barriers? And it's a never ending process. You never get to a point where it's like, oh, you know what? Check. Never need to work on improving conversions, and check. Traffic. No more need to ever go for any more traffic. It's a continual, ever flowing process because your market is continually growing and evolving as well. So the main barriers are you having a proper, think about it. You need to test initially to make sure you've got a properly converting offer. And then you start ramping up the traffic. Now, in figuring out if it's a decent converting offer, you need to test with some traffic. And all traffic is different. Like every traffic source is going to have different percentages depending upon numerous factors. I mean, if it's warm recommended referrals, AKA affiliate marketing. So you have someone who's already got a list of people who know, like, and trust them. And they're like, hey, my friend Leonard from Nashville, Tennessee has put together something that is absolutely mind-blowing. And I reached out to him actually personally to ask, hey, I know I'm not allowed to share this, but I wanted your blessing. Can I share this with my people? He said yes. And guess what? Here's what you can now get from Leonard. So go check out this video, go check out this training. It's got my endorsement. If you're looking to get these results, I can without a doubt say he's the person to get you there. And so that warm referral is kind of like, think of a friend or a family member who's like visited a new restaurant, and you trust their history has been good in recommending good things to you. And they're like, oh my goodness, this is the best restaurant I've been to in a decade. You need to go to it. You're like, whoa, okay, right. They got a decent history of making good referrals in the past. Mental note, we're going to go there, right? So similarly, if it's a warm referral like that, where it's like, hey, John, meet my friend Leonard, it's got a higher percentage of being a well converting offer if it's a message to market match. Message to market match, right? If that list owner has people that want what you deliver and they're looking for it, and they're like, hey, my buddy over here can help you with it, it's a much higher conversion than running some ads to cold traffic and people aren't getting that warm referral, right? So every traffic source is going to have a different conversion metric, but all in all, it's going to have some numbers that make sense for you to now have the data to know what's running this machine. All right. Then once you get a decent conversion from the test traffic, then you can amplify it. Okay, how and where can I get more traffic? And in today's day and age, there's never been a way of communicating with people that have specifically raised their hands to learn about any of your niches. And it just takes, now that said, it takes the learning curve of digging in and playing around and being able to improve that conversion and get it at a conversion rate that's able to sustain running traffic to it, meaning it's of the amount of visitors, it's producing enough to recoup the advertising cost plus, and I'll say this with an asterisk, a lot of people, once you get the scalable business, it's if you can get a break even on the initial first purchaser, that's a win. Right. So if it's costing you $10, you do the math, for every $10 I spend, we're getting $10 back. Boom. That's a game changer. You are on track to being a multi-million-dollar business. If you can do that, because guess what? Once they buy the first thing, you go into an upsell. That's where the whole funnel thing comes into. You go up to the upsell, and from people that buy that first offer, we get 35% buy the upsell offer. And that's where the profits begin to be made. And then you have the downsell, second ups, all the different process, and that immediate break even. So if you're just beginning, a lot of people are like, well, I'm spending $10. I want to get in 15. I want to get a 1.5, 150% return on that 10. And it's possible, but for the people that are scaling into larger numbers, I mean, they are throwing a party if they're at a point where we know if we spend $20, we get $20 back, and the math works out, we're going to scale this sucker full steam. And then obviously they have the whole funnel built out. And you've seen this. We've all participated. We've all purchased one thing and saw the upsells and saw the downsells and the cross sells and all that fun stuff, the bump offers, the whole 9 yards. It's all available inside GrooveSell for you to do. And it works, ladies and gentlemen. So this all works. And this all goes back to the title of how to turn your dreams into reality by 2025. And it starts where you are, as is. You know what your should be is. You already picked your number, your own personal number. You already know the barriers in the online world. If we really break it down, those are the two barriers. And you got to ask yourself, what can we do to improve our conversions and convert and create an upsell process that gets the maximum conversions as well? Think of like squeezing squeezing a sponge, right? Get that water out. Like, how can you squeeze that sponge to maximize the value for the people that come through your funnel, as well as maximize the revenues that you can produce for your business, revenues/profits. And you have to continually rack your mind of you and your team of what can we do to increase conversions? What can we do to increase that lifetime value of these clients that we're gaining? And it begins, many cases, with people just entering their email. That's the beginning of the funnel process. What's that initial offer that can say, hey, you know what? I like what this person's saying. I want that thing they're promising. Here's my email address, that can lead right into the funnel of then offering products and services that they're now transacting with their credit card, PayPal, etc. Okay, so you're with me. And then once you got that conversion dialed in, then it's like, how and where can we get more traffic? There are so many businesses that are doing very, very well that are literally like squeezing that sponge as far as traffic. Where our sponge is dry, we need more traffic. And where can you get traffic? And think about it. There's endless amounts of traffic once you're able to get your conversion and your funnel figured out. So they kind of go hand in hand. And a lot of people confuse the fact that, well, I mean, think about this. How many people watch the Super Bowl? And you know what? We're just going to go get a Super Bowl ad, you know, a couple $1,000,000, plus they have in a contract where you got to have ongoing expenses throughout multiple months after. It's not just a one-time purchase. It's a really costly thing, but it's not for everybody. It's not for a lot. I mean, I think Gary Vaynerchuk talks about how he wanted to run a Super Bowl ad years ago, but he found out all the intricacies of the contract and it just doesn't make sense at all. And even if you do, as a marketer, watch the Super Bowl and go and take advantage of some of the offers that they're sharing, we're talking from the billion-dollar companies. You'll notice if you go to the URLs that they mention, even those URLs, the site A takes forever to load or B doesn't load because of the overwhelming amount of traffic. And a lot of that stuff is brand advertising, not direct response marketing advertising. So in many cases, it's just a big expense for them. So anyhow, their traffic is all out there, but you now need to get that message to market match. And how and where can I get traffic that's already raised their hand of interest for the products and services that we have to offer? And that's where you have, I mean, the common ones are Facebook, Instagram, right? YouTube, Google. Those are the common ones. But then you have a whole bunch of other possibilities that were never available, and those are just online. Then you also have, direct mail lists that you can rent. You have infomercials, TV commercials. You have radio commercials. I mean, you have a wide variety of things that aren't just online that are available for you once you get the offer dialed in to get more traffic. I'll just throw this in there, one example from years ago, but it produced results in the hundreds of millions of dollars. So one of the behemoths in the online marketing world is Agora. And years ago, 2011-ish, they had an offer that was called the End of America. Some of you may have seen it because it was everywhere in 2011, but it produced tremendous results after numerous iterations. Tremendous results. They went and they exhausted this thing. We know the numbers. It's working. Let's get as much traffic as possible. They got all the traffic they could possibly get online. Then they expanded into the radio. Then they expanded into TV. Then they expanded into infomercial. They expanded into direct mail, and it produced hundreds of millions of dollars. But they had the data that showed this thing was converting off the hook, and now it was like, okay, how and where can we just get everybody who has any inkling that could be a possible message to market match? How can we get this in front of them to gain their attention? And the numbers just worked out tremendously well. So anyhow, if we're seriously looking at what the barriers are from right here to right then, it's how well you're able from this point to 4 years from now grasp and understand what it takes to get a high converting site, page, and funnel. So a high converting funnel that starts with that email, leads to an offer, leads to the email follow-ups. The offer leads to an upsell, downsell process, etc. And how can you build that machine, which will, when the proper traffic is put into that machine, the proper fuel will produce the results that turns your machine onto a life-changing, results-producing, dream to reality situation. It's not that complex. But as one of my mentors, Jim Rohn, says, easy. Is it easy to do? Yes. And a lot of people, wait a minute, it's easy to do. And I'm putting an asterisk there. Jim Rohn says things that are easy to do are easier not to do. But even though it's easy, it begins with a commitment. It's easy, but it throws a lot of barriers at you in the beginning. The learning curve can be intense as far as the time, energy, effort, and resources necessary. And if you don't have, one of those combinations, you can then start teaming up and having people that can bring in the area that you're weak in and complement one another. But it takes a commitment. Like, you know what, I'm doing this. And it boils back to, here's where I am, here's where I'm going. And I saw a lot of niches being put in. And if you don't have a niche yet, that's where you have to begin. And for those people, I know we deal with people that already have highly successful businesses already going in the multiple millions, tens of millions and beyond. And we have some people that are already had been successful or transitioning into a new what's next type of scenario. And other people that are just coming into the online world saying, hey, this all sounds good, but where do I start? So regardless of where you are in that spectrum of just starting to already producing multi-millions, it boils back to you just picking a niche that you're passionate about, you're excited about, and you're willing to roll your sleeves up and dig in because you know and you believe what I have can benefit people in this message of market match. For people that are looking for this, I've got something that's different. Yeah, sure, there's a lot of similarities out there, but we have something that's unique because of, and I've talked about this many times, if you're a solopreneur and or a business entity, the business entity can have this as well. But as a solopreneur or a team, your personality, your experience, and your perspective, PEP, your personality, your experience, and your perspective changes the game, because it doesn't matter if you have a million competitors, your personality, your experience, and your perspective is different from all of theirs. Now, some are going to like it, some aren't. So what? Someone's waiting. And you have to have thick skin, and you have to be willing to just step out and say, hey, look, if you're looking to achieve this goal, I've got the goods, and here's why. Here's what you're going to learn. Here's how it's going to help you. And here's what the benefits are waiting for you when you take advantage of this, whether it's the free offer to get their email or the product or service that's for sale. All right, so we're on board. I'm going to pause. I'm going to jump into some of the chats here. Okay, work from home niche. Teresa, good to see you here. Brigitte, thank you. Good. Leonard from Nashville. Could you please switch Tom Beal on the big screen? That happened, Claudio. Thanks. Good for that. A million isn't as much as I think of today. 100% true, Dean. That's right. Can't see your charts full screen. All right. Stun, S-T-U-N. Hello, all, and hello, T. Beal. Always a fan of your content. Good. Glad to hear. Good that glad you're here. Business Net Marketing Dibly Network. Hi, guys. Why am I not getting a notification on YouTube? That's a good question. Okay, so everybody's still with me. I'm going to go back up to some niches that are talked about here. Power entrepreneurs, home niche, various types of tech equipment for college. Okay. Okay, cool. Powering entrepreneurs, business coach. All right, so there's coaches. I see a common thing for coach. All right, a common theme for coach. All right, so that's something that we're going to dive into. Now we're going to dive into actually Groove apps and or GrooveFunnels, and we're going to go to show how we now start from where we are to where we want to be, what the process is. And I mean, two different things. The money is in the list. And the follow-up. We've all heard the money is in the list. Why have we heard it? Because it's true. But it's not just in growing the list and leaving those people in the dust. It's about growing the list and continually following up with them, continually giving them new information, new insights, you stepping up as that leader, as that person who is committed, who is persistent, who is dedicated to helping them. And it doesn't happen with sporadic things here and there. It happens with a decision and a commitment to do it on a regular basis. How regular? Ideally, daily, ideally. And a lot of people flinch at that. And the reality of it is it's not hard. It's difficult in the beginning, but once you get in the groove, it's just part of your routine. Now, I'm going to say this. I wrote daily emails for years, and it was simple at the time. It's kind of like if you've been doing yoga and you're consistent and you do it several times a week, it's no big deal. But if you take a whole year or two off, when you jump back in, you're going to have a burn. It's going to hurt. Same thing with running, same thing with working out, same thing with anything like that. Well, in business, that also applies. So I took a break, and since all this has happened, when I did this, it was in the beginning of the social media stuff. So you can have it now where emails, the best thing is daily, but also you can touch your people with your email list, with a Facebook group or page, with all the different social media stuff, YouTube page, blog, etc. So daily, because the bottom line is this. If I look at my email inbox, it's probably 400,000 plus emails in there. I'm not an email person. So if I'm building a brand, I know I'm not an email person. I'm going to delegate someone to be the daily email person. And that person could interview me or take all my interviews and take clips and snippets of it. There's a huge amounts of possibilities of what that can be. And where I'm going with this is twofold. Don't try to not be you. Be you fully. And as my mentor and business partner, Rich Sheffrin, I was president of strategic profits for Rich Sheffrin for numerous years. He's like, the key is this: building a business around your weaknesses. So you don't have to be a different person. So if I'm not an email person, if I'm going to build a business around an email, daily email, I'm screwed because I don't like it. I'm not an email person. I don't personally read emails. And it just doesn't, I did my thing years ago and it works tremendously. It's just not, it's like pulling teeth for me. I'm just not that person, but I know it works. And when I write emails, I love it because I'm able to communicate with my people, but I haven't built it into I haven't made the choice. And so if I want to build a new brand, I would, at this point, delegate and designate someone to be that person to make it happen, because you want to communicate with your people on a daily basis. The money is in the follow-up. And you have email, Facebook, YouTube, blog, etc., Twitter, LinkedIn, the whole gamut, Instagram. And you have to understand this as well. And this is from one of my other mentors, Mark Ford, whose pen name is Michael Masterson. And Michael Masterson wrote the book, How to Get from Zero to 100 Million. I forgot the continuation of the subtitle, but Ready, Fire, Aim. Ready, Fire, Aim is his book. A, I recommend the book highly. B, he attributes Rich Sheffrin to giving him the idea in the beginning of the book. Thanks for pushing me to write this book. It's a very powerful book, Ready, Fire, Aim. But Michael Masterson says this: are your people there? Then be there. Right? So you want to, in a 4-year plan, be where your people are. Are your people on? Are they reading your emails? Are they reading emails? Yes. Okay, great. We need to have an email plan. What's your plan to continually spread information that always follows the base marketing principles of attention, interest, desire, action? It takes thinking of headlines that are going to get people's attention and interest enough to have them desirous to click the link. Because the subject line, if it's not attention grabbing enough, they're not going to click it and open it. Then the copy has to have attention, interest, desire, and action of the copy to get them intrigued enough to click the link to lead to the page. Then the page has to be attention grabbing, interest gaining, desirous enough for them to take action to do whatever you're wanting them to do there. In many cases, purchase something or opt into something. And so every step of the way has to go back to attention, interest, desire, and action. And it takes time, effort, energy to fine tune your muscles to think of attention grabbing headlines on a daily basis. Just scroll through your inbox. Boring, 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 boring. How can you not be boring? How can you stand out? Then when they read the email, most emails are boring, 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 boring. How can you not be boring to get the click? Then when they get to the page, that's the whole page. But it begins in all of this. This all intertwines into conversion and traffic. You have to have continuous attention, interest, desire, action in all the steps. Then we're going to get to the page here in GrooveFunnels shortly. You similarly have to have the headline that gets their attention. What's the purpose of the headline? To get their attention and interest enough to where they're desirous of reading the next line. What's the purpose of the next line? To get them to read the next line, et cetera, et cetera. You have to continuously keep their attention, because in this attention deficit age, humans have smaller attention spans than the daggum goldfish. So go to your goldfish tank and try talking to that sucker and watch how long they pay attention. Seconds, a couple seconds, and they're gone, man. Same thing with humans. It's not easy, but it's not hard. It just takes the discipline to build that muscle up. And I know you're here watching this, so you have that commitment. So well done in being here and being that person that is committed to doing it. All right. So, and then going back to Michael Mashman's statement, are your people there? Are your people on Facebook? Then be there. Have a Facebook page. Have Facebook groups. And then you have to think, if I'm going to be communicating with them daily, is that me or someone I can delegate or outsource to that is going to be dependable, reliable, and trustworthy, and attention grabbing, interesting, making people who are reading it desirous of learning more and willing to take the action, which could lead to a blog. And now there's going to be a Groove blog that you can integrate, and all the Facebook posts, instead of leading to miscellaneous pages and stuff like this, you can train your people through email to go to your hub of your blog. You can train them from your Facebook post to go to your blog. You can train them from YouTube to go to your blog. Or YouTube, actually your blog may send people to like a YouTube embedded thing on your blog. YouTube can be embedded on your blog, and then your blog leads them to the call to action. And in doing so, this creates one of the profitable, brilliant strategies that all of your stuff leads people to your hub, which is your blog. And your blog, pretty much is the movie trailer, right? So the blog gets people further excited. So whether it's a daily email, Facebook post, or whatever leads them to your blog, while you're there, it's building up the value, building up the excitement to lead to either an affiliate offer or lead to one of your products or services. So it's kind of like the blog is where people know that's where they're going to go. Everything that you do leads to that hub. And then from there, that's where you direct them. Hey, if this resonates with you, the good news is I teamed up with Artrid. And Artrid has something that, as I mentioned, if you're looking for this, she's the person to go to. You already heard why. So click that link below and watch how not only does she do all that I say, way more, right? She under promises and over delivers. So if you want this result, Artrid's the person to go to. Go check it out. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the beginning of a well-oiled machine that leads you to your daily revenue and profit goals. It's not complicated, actually pretty simple, but it takes this little word here. Consistency. It takes consistency, which takes dedication, which takes commitment, which takes using your brain to also recognize, wait a minute, there's a lot of moving parts here. And some things I'm going to be good at, some things I hate doing. So I'm not going to be foolish. I'm going to follow what Rich Sheffrin says. I'm not going to be foolish enough to build a business around my weaknesses or the things that I hate doing. It's hard enough. Like, it's like if you made a health goal, I'm going to become healthy. You know what? And it's time I get a gym membership. Yeah, there's gyms right around the corner from me, but I'm going to get the gym that's an hour drive away because that one's the bigger, badder, better gym. Wait a minute. An hour drive away? It's hard enough to get the motivation to put the right clothes on and get your butt to the one that's only 3 blocks away. Nonetheless, you add an hour in, that's a complication that's, guess what? You're going to be fooling yourself if you think that's the way to do it. So don't fool yourself. And if you suck at one of these, so, well, my business is going to rely on this and me doing this. Oh, crap, I got to do this again. No, you want to stay in your I have left-handed chicken scratch, so I apologize. That's why I'm saying these things, because you might not be able to read them. That says unique abilities. You want to stay in your unique abilities, which the training that I trained 2 weeks ago titled, let me pull my brain up. What's that title? Lack of clarity is the root of all failure. You're going to learn the 4 questions that help you be very clear of what's yours to do. And with that, you're going to get the converse of that title of that training, which is lack of clarity is the root of all failure. You're going to now be clear, and clarity is the root of all success. So you stay in your unique abilities, you do what's yours to do, and you create systems, processes, delegation, outsourcing, etc., to get the other things done without you having to do them. And that key training that we did 2 weeks ago, called, once again, lack of clarity is the root of all failure. I'll show you where to get it. If you saw it, you know it's powerful. If you haven't seen it, it's game changing. And even if you saw it, you may want to review it. So I'll show you how to get it here in a little bit. But you stay in your lane doing what's yours to do, which A, is being the captain of the business. If you are in that role, if this is your business, you're the captain. The captain of a ship doesn't have to be cleaning the bathrooms and doing all that stuff. Like, you can't do it all. You have a team to help you with this. Well, Tom, I don't have the resources right now to have a team. We talk about that in that training a couple of weeks ago, but I'll remind you, one of the quotes that's also one of my favorites is, resourcefulness always beats resources. Mike Filsame, myself, John Cornetta, everybody in the GrooveFunnels world at one point didn't have the resources to go hire the experts that we needed. But we had the resourcefulness, meaning the creativity to think, hey, I need this done. I don't have the money. What's type of offer, what type of situation could I begin a conversation with people who has the capabilities to get this done and is willing to work with me because of the future potential that this has? And you work out deals and you make it happen. You become resourceful when you don't have the resources. So never let a lack of resources prevent you from moving forward. This is a time to become resourceful. All right. So there's that. And this well-oiled machine begins inside GrooveFunnels. And that's where we're going to jump over to right now. First, I'm going to jump into StreamYard, which I'm already in. I'm going to stop that one. I'm going to start sharing my screen. I'm going to do my entire screen because we're going to be going on a bunch of different things here. And we're going to jump into GrooveFunnels. All right. So now, once you're logged into GrooveFunnels, this is the page. And to log into GrooveFunnels, all you do is go to app.groovefunnels.com. Once you're inside, you have the whole panel of options here. Depending on whether you're the free version or whether you went with the upgrade, you'll have access to the appropriate things. If you haven't clicked the upgrade yet, you can click here, what's in the upgrade, click here, learn more. GrooveFunnels is growing at a very, very rapid pace. And one thing you can count on is the upgrade is at the lowest it's going to be. It's only going to continue to get more, and it's going to build up to multiple hundreds of dollars per month. And you can save tremendously in the long term if you check out the available upgrade now. And fast forward to 2025, people are like, crap, I wish I was around 4 years ago and could have taken advantage of the upgrade, because there's going to be available at the multiple hundreds of dollars per month for the entire system. So take a look at it with a twofold approach. Look at it with your marketing goggles. How are they positioning this offer in such an irresistible fashion? What are they doing to get people's attention, interest, desire, and action? Because you can learn a lot from high converting offers. So look at it with your marketing goggles of, okay, how are they doing this? And why is it so attractive? Why is it so irresistible? And how could I model a couple things like this? And a quick little pause and rewind back to a few months ago, and we can really step into the whole reason this is what it is due to the unfortunate, unforeseen circumstances of COVID. The co-founders had no intentions of giving stuff away on the front end. They had the intentions of selling it $99 per month for the stuff that now is for free. But they recognized a shift in the world, not just a shift in the USA, a shift in the world with what was happening with the lockdowns related to COVID. And they actually sat down and constructed some possibilities for a twofold reason. One, to help people in these unique times. And two, to fulfill that quote of Zig Ziglar, you can have everything in life you want if you simply help enough others get what they want. So in helping others, how could we, as the co-founders of GrooveFunnels, benefit? And just a side note, I'm not a co-founder of GrooveFunnels. I'm a friend of the co-founders. I'm a former business partner of a couple of them, but I'm here as a consultant because they care so much about your success. They're investing in me for you, as well as all the other trainers. So that's their dedication and commitment, right? So they ask themselves, okay, how can we help others in this unique time? And how can we benefit as a company from it? And that's where, if you think about it, you can look and see the brilliance of what they crafted. Hey, this used to sell for $99 per month. With the changes in the world related to COVID, we decided to pivot our company and give this away in a way of lending a helping hand to entrepreneurs or people who have been displaced from work, or et cetera. You know the story. And how they built this from the unforeseen, terrible circumstances, right? Tragedies that have occurred since earlier this year. They turned that into a huge way to positively impact many people's lives and also grow their company at a very fast pace. So there's lessons lying around, and these lessons are called clues. How can you reap what they did in your business? What are some things that you could think of to model what they did in these unique times to deliver massive value and also deliver a way to spread their message, helping people and also helping grow their business? And then from the free led to, hey, congratulations, you didn't even need to have a credit card. Go in there and look, we've paid some of the top trainers in the world to help you on this journey, to help you understand how to use this software. Go in there, dig in, and make the most of it. And our goal is that it produces such great results that at one point in time, you'll see the massive value and you'll want to upgrade and gain access to all of the features available, which the upgrade's only available for a limited time. So take it while it's still available, or forever, possibly lose out. But they did this. So how can you emulate something like that? So go look at the upgrade, and all you have to do is click here and click on the button there, and it's going to show you all about it. But now let's dive into GroovePages and take this plan, this 4-year plan, and turn it into life-changing results for you. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you jump in here, and I go over this briefly every week, because every week there's huge amounts of new members in the GrooveFunnels family. So if this is your first time here, congratulations. If this is your 20th time here, congratulations. We're going to go over this briefly. You go to the top right, you click on the 3 pancake icon there, and you click on My Integrations. You're not going to see these in here if you haven't done it yet. These are the 2 that I've already integrated, my Aweber account and my Active Campaign. This is where you integrate your email autoresponder company, whichever company you use. And so I'll go here, I'll click on Add, Integration Type, you click that, and you see the drop-down menu. Active Campaign, Aweber, Campaign Monitor, Web Form, Get Response, GoToWebinar, Lead Lovers, MailChimp, Mautic, Perkzilla, Pipedrive, Product Dino, Webinar Jam, and Zapier. Zapier pretty much is the catch-all. Select whichever one it is, follow the process, and now it's going to be integrated. Once it's integrated, when you're building pages, you now are able to select, and I'll show you how to do this, where the opt-in form is. You'll be able to I can go to Aweber or Active Campaign, select which list I want it to add to. And if it's a new list, I'd have to first go into Aweber or Active Campaign, the ones that I use, and create a new list for that new product, that new offer, that new whatever. And then that would be now available inside here. So if this is over your head, don't worry, it'll make sense down the road. If you're brand new and this stuff's over your head, it's all good. You'll learn, but you will want an autoresponder service. And guess what? GrooveMail's coming out like soon, like it's going to be integrated soon. So you're going to be able to integrate your GrooveMail here soon. I don't know the dates on that yet, but it's coming soon. So anyhow, there's that. And remember the 2 things, the money is in the list and the money is in the follow-up. So we're talking about strategy that you need to begin with is growing your list. So then once you're in here, you aren't going to see all these pages. These are pages. Some of them are from the trainings that I do on a weekly basis. Others are some actual sites that are up and live. But from in here, you click on New Site. When you click on this, you're going to see a whole bunch of templates. Now, if I have some designers in here, this is a very streamlined, amazing build from scratch template that's available, but it's a blank template. Me personally, in a million years, I would never take that, but I'm not the graphic type. Like that's my weakness. See that stick figure? That's as far as my graphics go. That $sign. You can't even read it's a $sign. I'm a left-handed chicken scratch. Don't do graphics. So I pick templates. But if you are the graphical type and you know, hey, I know how to do this, it's great with all the elements here and all this. It's simple to build one for those that want to. But I would recommend for 99% of the other people, the templates. Each and every week, there are new templates added. And you see at the top, you got complete sites, funnels, my templates, etc. So one thing you want to do is just scroll through and just quickly familiarize yourself with them. And just to show you, like when you go onto a template, like event registration landing page, you get to preview it or select it. So you can click on preview. It's going to open in a new tab, and you can take a look at it. And you're going to be able to, as you scroll through, like, okay, cool. I see what they're doing here. All right. Yeah, cool. So this obviously is for a live event. Okay. Look, boom. Look how simple this is. And just from this quick scroll, to go from scratch to create that, for many people, A, it's impossible. B, it would not look as pretty. And C, would be just a waste of time. Now, this shows you what's there. While you're looking at this, know that everything can be changed. This background image can be changed. The color of this can be changed. The details that you're collecting here can be changed. Like all this stuff, these can all be deleted. All this stuff can be deleted, changed, modified real simply. And we're going to show you inside when we dig in. So this is perfect. And this one actually might be a good one to show, but it's a live event. And live events, guess what? They aren't happening much right now because of the COVID. So I'm going to pass on that one right now, but that's a beautiful template. If you're doing a live event, that's perfect. And guess what? That event could actually be a live stream with a summit, right? That could be a live event summit registration page. And where you saw the speakers, it could show, each of the speakers that are on that particular summit. So even though physical live events aren't going on at the level they were prior to COVID yet, this could be a page used for some type of online summit. So always keep that in mind. And as you're looking, also remember, just because, like for this one here, preview, just because it says yoga, remember, this image can change. These pictures can change. All the text can be changed. So if you like this particular layout, if you scroll around and don't see another layout that's similar, all this stuff can be modified real simply. So don't let any particular niche specific template hold you back. If you're like, you know what, that template's great, but I'm not in yoga. No, that's doesn't matter at all. You don't have to be in yoga just because the template is named that, or whatever any of the other niches that it's in, supplement landing page, all this stuff. All right. So you scroll down and you find a page that kind of has the flow and feel that you're looking for. And from your quick look, you can see some ideas, and it's in your mind as to, okay, what's the goal? And so when you're looking at this, it's kind of like the 7 habits of highly successful people. Begin with the end in mind. One of his habits is begin with the end in mind. What's my goal? Well, my goal is to get people's attention, interest, desire, and have them take action and give me their email address. If we're building an opt-in page, a landing page right now, which I think is a good place to start. And so it's scrolling down and seeing like what encapsulates the vision that you have from the quick scan of the templates that are available. And the great news is, like, and even as you're scrolling and scanning, like, wait a minute, chiropractor consultation page, chiropractor booking page, chiropractor thank you page. Well, remember, you don't have to be a chiropractor. Like if you have a consultation business, this whole process right here, the chiropractor consultation page, the booking page, and the thank you page could be your flow to get people to register, to set up their appointment, and share with them what to expect next, right? So there's a flow in all this. High ticket sales page, testimonials template. Okay, so you got a wide variety. This is the all, right? As you're scrolling through. And this is just to give you a starting point of what calls out to you. And it's kind of like house shopping or car shopping or shoe shopping or whatever. What calls out to you may be not something that calls out to me or anyone else. It's you with the vision that you have as a quick scan, like what's grabbing you? What do you feel would be the right thing? So that's part A. So I'm going to scroll fast, close your eyes. All right. Then you also have this little drop down here, which gives you the ability to go specifically to the different categories. Right. So let's take a look at this real quickly. As you can see, there's an overview that we're going into right now. So advertorial, agency, automotive and cars, booking, scheduling, business, corporate, coaches, contest, giveaway, courses, training, cross sells, down sells, e-commerce, ebook, event, free resource or download. Pretty good one there. Checkout, consultation, education, finance, food and beverage, government, health and fitness, lifestyle and blogging, long form sales letter, newsletter, offer, discount or coupon, opt-in funnels, photography, real estate, retail, service. So each of them, sign up, log in, startup, thank you page, travel, upsells, blah, blah, blah. So there you go. You got categories. And you also have the buttons over here. So if we go down to coaches, let's just click on coaches and see what we got here. Okay, coaches. We got schedule appointment, online community template, mastermind order form, a mastermind thank you page. Perfect. I'm seeing what else we got. Opt-in. Let's click opt-in here. Oop, there we go. Opt-in. Oop, I deselected it. Okay, that one's. So we're going to go here to, what's another one? Newsletter, lifestyle and blogging, startup, sign up, travel, upsell, webinar or virtual event. I'm just seeing what we got here. There's so many. And actually, this is a good one here, the webinar or virtual event, because this is a great topic. So whether or not you have a webinar, webinars work tremendously well. I'm going to show this template because this is pure brilliance. And also I would recommend, just like I said, watching things with your marketing eyes. Like look at this from a marketing standpoint and ask yourself, how can I model and emulate this? And as you saw, the title was for a webinar replay. But as we scroll down here, you could see that this could be, I mean, literally just from the top above fold thing here, with like getting rid of all below this, this could be a perfect setup for an opt-in. But here we are on a template that's called webinar replay. Like just to remind you, webinar replay template. It's brilliant, as I mentioned. We're going to go through it, but look at the top. Like right away, it's got some incredible headlines to get your attention and interest and have you desirous. Hurry, this crazy one-time special expires at midnight. Pay nothing today. Get access today. No payments, no interest for 6 months. There's a countdown timer, urgency. It's got the name and brand right there, webinar control. 51 hacks to double your webinar profits instantly. Mike Vilsain reveals how he generated over $2 million in sales over the last 7 different webinar campaigns. Boom. So super, super powerful. And there's a video there. He goes through the key points you're going to learn with timestamps. I mean, remember, this is a webinar replay, right? So remember, it shares the offer, like pure brilliance. It shares what is actually happening in the offer in this 1 hour, 48 minute, 50 second webinar. Here's everything you get, extra bonuses. It goes right in the offer with a sale, but you get access today for $0. Right? So, it's not clickable at that point. Oops, I got to go view actual size. Sorry about that. And now you have testimonials, a video recap of what you get, one-time payment $9.97. I mean, and this is brilliant. So anybody who has a webinar, this template alone is a masterclass. But I also want you to see it in a twofold scenario. It's a webinar replay, masterclass in action, that if you followed this, you would watch your webinar replays. I mean, with the way this is laid out, you'll have people skipping to the parts that are pertinent to them. And holy crap, I want this, right? The viewer, the consumption is going to be great. The sales are going to be great. Part 1. So if you have a webinar, this webinar replay format, you don't see many people using it, but Mike, this is one of Mike's secret weapons with webinar replays from a while ago, and it works tremendously well. Double fold is taking a look at this, knowing that this is now a template that you can modify. Take just the top portion, throw in an opt-in below here, and now you've got some headlines, you've got some urgency, you've got another pre-headline, a headline, a video describing what they're going to get when they opt in, and you throw in an opt-in here. This is going to be a super powerful template that you could modify to be an opt-in page, right? So keep that in mind. All right. And now let's see, there was one other here, free resources or downloads. Let's check this. All right. So pretty simple, like this one here, free resources or downloads, digital marketing opt-in. Real simple. Bold headline, bold subheadline, image, and an opt-in form. I mean, that's when you have to know your marketplace. And if you're in a situation where you have something that's going to get people's attention, interest, and desire and action, a lot of people ask Tom, Mike, whoever the expert is who's doing the training, how long should my page be? How long should my video be? How long should my sales letter be? And the answer is not what many people want to hear, but it's true. The answer is this. as long as it needs to be to get people to take the action that you want them to take, and they see the best interests in themselves taking, right? So in many cases, if you have something that's so hot and is so valuable, and the image is, I would do a much more powerful image in this, but for this one here, Facebook ads authority, how to use Facebook ads to get more leads, build brand awareness, and make more sales. Will that one work in that particular instance? Not sure. This is just an example. But if you have something that's bold enough and you can show a image that encapsulates the benefits they're going to get from digging into this, and you can hit them with a higher impactful headline that gets their attention, interest, has them desirous of it, and take action. This is as long as it needs to be for that particular scenario. Does it work for everybody? No. But, there's one example, many examples, but one from years ago with digital marketer, Ryan Dice's company, Perry Belcher at the time as well. They worked together, and they're big on split testing. So they had a very long videos, massive amounts of bullet points and all this stuff. And they also had one that was even shorter than this. I think theirs was literally a headline and there was no image. It was just a headline and an email. Boom, big, bold promise, enter your email below. And if the promise is bold enough and in their particular situation, the reputation is strong enough, people respect them, they already see them as authority, they already know, like, and trust them. Many cases, you just need a big, bold headline and an email, enter your email address. We're going to send this right over to you. Then on the thank you page, you can hit them with more. Hey, guess what? That's in your inbox. It's going to be there within 3 minutes. Make sure, here's the subject line it's going to be from. Here's the email. But stick with me. We have something for you. We have a bonus gift for you. This bonus gift is this brief little training, right? So you're going to get that thing that you got. It's in your inbox. But right here, if you like that, you're going to love this. And then this video could turn into an immediate offer. Gives them more additional value. Doesn't make them feel like they're getting baited and switched. Makes them feel like, oh, cool. They're actually giving me more. Under promise and over deliver. And then it leads directly to an offer. Super simple. All right. So you get the picture. Now let's dig in. And I'm actually going to go to that one again, just to show this here. All right. Actually, I have one I already built. I built for someone. Let me scroll down to the bottom here. All right. So where are we at? All right. Mine is taking a little while. Refresh. Refresh that page. Okay. Oh, there it is. And background clone. Okay, open editor. So I cloned it. And that's actually, once you create a page, you can clone it. So I was working with some of my friends and helping some clients create some webinars, right? And this one is a work in motion, but I gave an example of how quickly it was to modify this. This is a clone of Anne's. So I had Anne send me over some headlines, send me over some images, and I went through a template and actually just created this inside of GroovePages. And so basically, I'm going to show you this. I'm going to jump back over to this template and show you how simple it is. So same thing at the top. Hurry, this one-time special offer. You could change this. It expires whenever it does for you, but you want to add urgency when you put your countdown timer. All right, so you'd have to modify this, and then it goes right into a title of your webinar. It goes into the 3 things that you're going to learn about your host, and then at the bottom shares some testimonials. This one I didn't update the testimonials on. I did on the other one. I'll get out of here and show you that. Oops, GroovePages. So this one I made live, and she sent me over her actual testimonials as well. And I created this to show how simple it was. And it's a dual fold purpose, because she has this webinar, which is going to help a lot of people. And I was helping her craft the webinar. She was in an elite mastermind, and dual fold purpose. I created the video for her, and with her permission told her, look, this is just an example And I'm going to be able to use that video in a couple different manners. So once her webinar is up and live and she's changed the headlines and we updated everything, when this is not live right now, but when I show this example, people can click here and actually go to her webinar and get the benefits that are here on this example page. But I built it, and I created a video when I built it so that I can also share with people how simple it is to build their pages inside GroovePages. So it's a dual fold thing. I used a screen capture that I have on my my Mac here called ScreenFlow. And as I built it, I showed her so that she can go into her GroovePages and modify and create her page very simply. So I'm now going to show that to you. So let's go back to GroovePages, and I'll show you how simple all this stuff is. So we're going to go to webinars. And the one that we picked is this one. I'm going to preview. No, I don't want to preview it. I'm going to pick select, and we're going to pick Marine Corps 145th birthday. All right. So now we're going to start building, and this is what you're going to see. So when you go into the page like this, here's what it's going to look like. And as you can see, this is, wait a minute, Tom, this is different. On the other one, you actually had a countdown timer at the top. Yep, I added the countdown timer. I'll show you that here in a second. But now when we're here, you automatically see in the upper left-hand corner here, it's titled what it was on the template page. So what I like to do is go over to the pages aspect, click on those three dots, edit settings, and it's just my personal thing. So you name it whatever you want. So I already named it Marine Corps. Oops. 45th, right? That's just as an example. And there's a whole bunch of other things you can edit here. This is where your code would go if you want to have your tracking. It would tell you to put your code in the head or the body, depending on which tracking you're using, and you paste the tracking code there. But we'll get to that at another time. And then we're going to close this out. Now, real simply, as I mentioned, everything is modifiable. So right away, if I don't want a logo and I don't want to save my seat at the top, I can click on up. As you see that red outline, I'm going to click up again. Now the red outline is around that whole block. I'm going to click delete, confirm, boom, it's gone. Now you can delete a whole bunch of stuff just to show you. Like I could delete this, confirm. Oh crap, I didn't mean to delete that. Well, you got the back button here. See that arrow? Back, back, forward, forward, back. So don't worry while you're clicking and while you're doing stuff like, oh, let me do this, and you change something. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that. Just go back and hit the back button, and it's a nice little safety net per se. So until you hit save and publish, it's all there for you to go back and forth and modify. So in her example, and I'll just show you some things here. So you click on this, how to change the image. Just go to configure, click choose image, and she sent over some images. I'll do some different images. I'll do just my face there. How about that? My face inside there. Oops, I don't want to update. I just want to select that. And then I want to update. Boom, there you go, my face. Live webinar by, and then you just modify it. Tom Beal. Oh, success is simple, like boot camp, like USMC boot camp, right? Just a simple attention grabbing, this is counterintuitive title, right? How success is, I'll even take away that. Success is simple, like USMC, United States Marine Corps boot camp. I might even say that. I did. Right. And people are like, what? That doesn't make any sense. So success is simple, like United States Marine Corps boot camp. And what you're going to learn is, 4 questions. Oh, wait. 4 questions that lead to massive certainty, etc. And with that, you could actually go to center it, right? I saw how quickly I centered it right there. How to grow your email list. You modify all this. So if you could change the images here, and you can modify them. I can change those images to anything I want. Picture of me, Mike, and John, the co-founders of, two of the co-founders of GrooveFunnels. Update. And once it's there, then you can make it smaller or larger. As simple as that. Modify it. Right? Obviously, that picture doesn't make sense for that headline, but you get the idea. And then same thing with here. You can modify this picture. It's real simple. And then here is where you can modify the save my seat, and it can lead to either a pop-up, which you would create first over here. And then as they click it, it would lead to the pop-up, which would come up on the screen. And let me just show you something real quick. So if I go here, not on this page, I'll show you something real quick on another one. So you get how simple it is. And then I could even change the back image here. So if I'm in this background image, the background's right here. See that image is that image right there. I could choose an image and pick a background of the United States flag. That's perfect, right? Marine Corps, select, there we go. Obviously not ideal, but you get how simple it is to change it. I would want, if I was using that, I would change the font here from white to a different color because the white gets drowned out in the image that's here. But guess what? I have back. I can go back. There we go. Back to the better image for this particular scenario. So this is how simple it is to make the modifications for all this. And that's part one. Now, that particular page didn't have an opt-in form, and I'm going to show you real quickly how to do an opt-in form. So if you're choosing a page and you're looking to grow opt-ins, this one right here, let's select this one. Select B-Day, MC, start building. Same thing. Everything is modifiable. And all these you can change, you can delete, you can change things real simply. It's all modifiable. And the one thing I want to show you here is, so you click on the email, and I'm going to go up, and now it's in form container. See at the bottom here it says form container. I go to configure over here. This is where I want to choose integrations. I want to pick whichever one I want to integrate it with. I'm going to pick the list. It has all the lists. I'm just going to pick Tom Beal. That's my main list. Thank you, redirect. I'll just give it a URL. TomBeal.com, which right now just forwards to my YouTube channel. And that's as simple as it is, ladies and gentlemen. Once you're integrated from that first step we did, you can change this text however you like. Simple as that. Download book, change it to join me. Learn this lesson now. Whatever the text is, update. Simple like that. Okay, boom. There's that button. You know what? Whoops. I don't know how I might do that on this occasion. The background is, you can modify it to whatever you want. That background of the button, super simple. Everything is super modifiable and super easy. Okay, so that's as simple as it gets. And then if there's another opt-in here, you would just do the same thing. You go to up until it's at the bottom, says form container. Because even though we did it at the top, we have to do it again here. If there's a second way to opt in, you click which one you want to integrate it with. You click the same list that you want it to go to, and you create a thank you page URL redirect if you want. So after people opt in, this is where they're going to go. .com update. Boom. There's that. And you know what? I don't like that. that code, that color. I want something like this. You know, you can change. Everything is so easily modifiable. And then here's another one, same thing. So and you can delete these. You know what? Who's this for? Okay, I want to keep that. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to configure it. Same thing. Integrations, Aweber, the list. Pick the list that you want them to register for. Give them the redirect URL. No name right. And update. Boom. There you go. Then all you have to do after you've made all the modifications, you just go and I'm going to delete this top part. I don't like this top part. I'm going to delete it. Boom. It's gone. Learn more from Tom Beal. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Publish. Click here. Tom Beal. Tom Beal example. View actual size. Okay. So now when I click, I'll just do Tom Beal. I don't think I have that one. I'll do TB USMC. Actually, I'll leave that out. USMC. All right. TomBeal.GroovePages.USMC. When I publish that, it only takes a few seconds. It's now going to be published for free without any of me needing to go use any server or hosting site. It hosts automatically through GroovePages. And the URL is right there, tombeal.groovepages.com/USMC/. Now, I will say this, and here it is live. I clicked on it. Now it's live. And I'll just give a sample here. Tom at, Beal, plus USMC at gmail.com. With your Gmail accounts, you can add a plus anything. So I'm going to do that. Learn this lesson now. See, I integrate it with a form. That's a good thing. So you always want to test. The form that I have at Tom Beal requires name and email. So this is great. That's why you always want to test. And I was actually curious because I knew that it only had name and email. So you'd want to test your offer and pick a list that already has name. So configure that. That's name. And if you wanted to copy that, you can copy it and then change it to name. And then I'm going to take, update. I'm going to take this stuff. Attribute value. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. ID. Name. So basically, I would, if I'm doing something like this, I know I already have the Tom Beal one set up with name and email. I would pick one that already has the name and email as far as the opt-in. Or I would go into my Aweber and create one that only requires email. So for me, I don't mess around with all this stuff. David, I'm sure, knows how. I just like to keep it simple. But I'm going to skip that and go back to here. So if you know that your the page that you want it to link to requires name and email, you'd want to make sure you pick one that has both of them on the opt-in page. And so you'd scroll down and find one that fits it. And here's one right here. So select that. Test. Let's see. And that one has name and email, right? So you just go here, up, and then you would configure it, go to integrations, choose the one that you want it to link to, which is, in that case, all of mine, most all of them I have name and email. That's not how not a lot, everybody doesn't need name and email. Pretty much you can do email. It'll increase your opt-ins, but I like it name to personalize things. Now that's gonna link to it. So it's pretty simple. And other way to do it is, I mean, you can literally drag in your email forms from your element. If you scroll all the way down, you can add integration from Aweber. And I'm not sure where that threw it in there. Yeah. Oh, there we go. I did it twice. So I'm gonna do back. So it's there, and then you could drag it to wherever you want on the page, and that's the manual way. As mentioned in the beginning, I like to stick with most of the templates, but there is a way to pretty this up and make it look good. But I'll back out of that. Okay, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The bottom line is, it is going to be 4 years from now. Where is that one page I'm looking for? Here we go. It's going to be 4 years from now before you know it. And now, throw in this word of wisdom. None of us are guaranteed a tomorrow. None of us are guaranteed a next week. None of us are guaranteed a next month. None of us are guaranteed a next year. So we have to go with, or you don't have to do anything, but you can consider going with this premise that I learned a long time ago, which has been helpful to me. Act as if I'm going to live to be 120 years old and I may be gone in less than a year at the same time, right? So don't dawdle, don't put things off, get into the countdown timer aspect of like, look, life is clicking by fast. Think about 4 years ago, 2016, November of 2016. What, we were just witnessing Donald Trump beating Hillary Clinton, right? And now we're witnessing the chaos of the current election, right? So 4 years ago, and that doesn't seem like that long ago. And reflect back, like, holy cow, look what was going on in November of 2016. Here I am in 2020. Where am I going to be towards the end of 2014, going into the year 2015? 2025. I can't. Decades go by so quickly. I can't even keep up with them. So I'll be going into the year 2025, right? So it's the end of 2024, going into 2025. If I'm honest with myself, I can say, look, I got clear in November of 2020 when all that chaos was going on. I'm sure you can remember the chaos of the Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump thing, regardless of where you were in the world at that time. And we'll be able to look back 4 years from now and say, you know what? Holy cow, that went by quickly. Sure, there were times it seemed like forever, but it's going to go by fast. The question is, am I going to get clear and serious on my dreams right now? Which goes into getting clear on as is, should be, barriers and payoff. Where am I now? Where do I want to be? What's my number? And what are the steps that I have to do to begin being a prolific value creator? PVC, prolific value creator, continuous creation of value in growing my list, in following up with my list, leading to the things that we talked about, possibly taking into consideration what I shared, having your blog as your hub where your emails send people to your blog, your Facebook posts send people to your blog, etc. And your blog can send people to your blog can have YouTube videos embedded on it that send people to your call to action. That's a simple process. It takes dedication. It takes commitment. It's not out of your reach, out of your capabilities, but it takes a decision. It takes commitment. It takes discipline, and it takes rolling your sleeves up, jumping into GroovePages, getting your autoresponder integrated, getting a lead capture page created, making it live, and then start sending some traffic to it. And in the beginning, it's probably not going to be conversions to write home about. It could be, but guess what? Most all of the successful opt-in pages, registration pages, sales pages weren't perfect from the start. There were numerous iterations. So get some traffic and get some initial data. We got 100 visitors to the page. And from the 100 visitors, we got 20 of them to opt in. 20 out of 100 opted in. We now have an opt-in list. And did I put a process in place when they opt in, they automatically get that initial email, I wrap my arms around them. Then it automatically puts them in an autoresponder process. Takes a little bit of time, a little bit of thinking it through. And then from there, it can just be an opt-in page right then kicks into email follow-up series, which leads them to different offers that could be on your blog, that could be on YouTube, that could be wherever, that gets them to know, like, and trust you more, and gets them to like it and move forward with gaining their interest, their attention, their interest, their desire, and their actions. They get to know, like, and trust you, and they'll take your recommendations at a stronger pace. But then once you evolve from just getting the opt-in and a standard thank you page, then you can evolve to building the funnel. Well, the people that opt in immediately go to a thank you page, which is the first offer. Hey, you're going to love what I have come into your inbox. Stay tuned. Go check it out in 5 minutes. It's going to come from this subject line. It's going to have this in there. But in the meantime, I have something that you're really going to love. And that leads into your initial offer. And right, in one step at a time, you begin building this process. And in 4 years, you'll be like, holy crap, I'm thankful that I gained clarity on what my number was, gained clarity on what my daily number was, and what actions were mine to do. I had to take steps to begin growing my list, following up more, and creating more offers. The marketer who has the most offers wins. How can you be that prolific value creator, but also the prolific offer creator? Well, the answer is GrooveFunnels. It's all there for you. You have unlimited amounts of opt-in pages, registration pages, thank you pages, one-time offer pages, etc. And also the same thing, you can integrate those pages and you have unlimited access to creating unlimited amount of offers, combining GrooveSell with GroovePages. And as if you upgraded, which is a smart thing to do, you have access to all of the upcoming software coming out in the Groove family. It's going to be kit and caboodle, head and shoulders above everything out there. You're going to have the webinar software. You're going to have the email platform. You're going to have the video. All of that stuff is there in one place, integrated to help you grow your list, put out prolific offers, keep continually creating that prolific value, growing your list. The money's in the list and the money's in the follow-up, and the money's in creating more offers. So it's as simple as that. The question is, are you ready and serious to take it to that next level? And I know you are, because if you're still here, like, look, this guy sure likes to talk. No, this guy sure likes to share this information, as I have worldwide, and have had people come back to me and say, Tom, I took it seriously. And literally people within a short amount of time have built life-changing businesses. And that's what I want for you. I'm not doing this to just take up time, to just pump you full of hot air. It's hopefully helping you connect the dots, like it's possible, and it's possible for you. As the sub-headline of today's training was, it's time now for you to show yourself, show your family, show your friends what you're truly capable of. I believe in you. I know you're in the right place. I know the tools are there for you. It's just going to take your decision, your commitment, your discipline, and your follow through. And I'm looking forward in 4 years from now, like, holy crap, Tom, I was on that training, or I wasn't there live, but I watched the replay. I took action and everything has changed. That's what I want for you. And that's what we have, ladies and gentlemen. That's today's training. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to jump over to David and see if there were. I know David's awesome at answering all the questions, but if there are any questions that he feels that are mine to answer, I'm open for that. And here we go. All right. I think I see some things here. So Brigitte, Tom, you're fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate that. Can you point me to a template I can use for my coaching program? It's kind of like the car or the house. What I think is awesome might not be what you think is awesome. So I would highly recommend just a quick scroll and go preview and see the one that resonates with you. Yes, there are some templates there that are for coaches, but they may not be the ones that you feel are the right vibe that you want. So just go there and spend 30 minutes of scrolling through, select or previewing and looking at them and see, this one encapsulates the feel that I want to have and does lead people to, I think I can modify it to where it's going to get people's attention, have them interested in what I have to say and what I have to offer, have them desirous of it enough to take action to give me their email address. And it's up to you. So it takes a little bit of going into rolling your sleeves and looking at the templates available and seeing which one encapsulates what's it for you. Brigitte, I know you really care. Thank you. It's ingrained in me. And I've witnessed this stuff works. I'm not blowing hot air. This stuff works, and it works for you. I don't care what your backstory is, what your excuses are. Get over that and say, you know what? I have all I need. It's just up to me to roll my sleeves up and figure this out. Following this method, it's going to work. All right. Jamil, Tom, you rock. Thank you. Facebook user, great call, Tom. Lots of gold nuggets to go on with. Awesome. Glad you enjoyed it. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. David, do we have anything else? Okay, perfect. We are good to go. All right, everybody. Have an awesome evening. I'll chat with you soon. We'll see you next Tuesday. Bye for now.